Nancy, it's nice to see you outside. That's great. I've been hosting a lot of, Zoom classes, and people have been taking their iPhones or their iPads outside, which is great. It adds a whole nother dimension. So for those of you I can't see, again, as Sean said, if you don't want to put your camera on, you don't have to put your camera on. But for me, I kind of like to see you guys just because I like to see you, but also I can kind of keep my eye on you a little bit to see if, there's something where I might say, like, bring your legs a little closer together, or can you squat down a little bit more? So again, you don't have to put your camera on, but if you do, I would be very happy to see you. So last semester when we were doing group fitness during these special times, as I'll call them, I think I explained a little bit how I do a lot more grounding work now. And by grounding work, I mean work where you are either seated or you are on your hands and knees, you're on your back, or you're kind of low to the ground. Does that mean that we're never going to stand up? Of course not. But we are going to focus just a little bit more on being grounded, only because energetically, during this time of uncertainty, we tend to kind of turn into like a whirl of activity, and you can get a little bit more anxious when things are uncertain, and sometimes moving quickly from pose to pose to pose, you can get a little out of your head. So grounding work, just even like literally putting your hands on the floor, touching a wall, putting your hands together, you can tell how that makes you feel safer at times. So I tend during this time to do just slightly more grounding work. And then also from a healing perspective, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the last class or not, but I've been focusing a lot on doing a lot of strength-based work, as I've always loved to, in your glutes and your thighs, because they're the largest muscles in your body. But if you are an old lady like me and are lucky enough to get AARP magazine, they had an immunity issue. And in it, they talk about a lot of different ways to boost your immunity. And if you have any questions, either get the magazine or, text me or call me, we can talk about it. But one of the ways that they talk about boosting your immunity is using your skeletal muscles, especially the large muscles of the butt and thighs. They release immunoprotective compounds called mitokines during exercise. So as we fire up our glutes and our thighs today, keep in the back of your head that one of the reasons I'm doing it is not just to get your butt beach body ready, but to also release some immunity building compounds. All of that being said now, let's bring ourselves to a place where you can quiet your mind for just a few moments. So close your eyes if it feels safe and if it feels comfortable. With your eyes closed, see if you can tune into any sounds that you may hear. Maybe you haven't had lunch yet and there's a little gurgling in your stomach. Maybe you can hear your breath in your body. Maybe you can hear some landscapers outside of my window. Maybe you can hear some horns honking or some bells chiming somewhere in the distance. So being in an academic environment, you're used to hearing about exams. Imagine I'm going to give you an exam. And one of the questions is list as many sounds as you can hear. And think of the level of paying attention that you would give to really listening if it were truly a test. See if you can bring that level of attentiveness to expanding your sense of hearing. And then bring your hands together at your heart center, letting your thumbs rest in your chest. Take a moment to make a little intention that for your whole time on the mat, you'll try to take the same level of attentiveness that you were just briefly using for your sense of hearing. You'll bring that level of attentiveness to feeling what's happening in your body. Feeling and thinking are two different things. Right? Thought often isn't real. Oh, I think he's really mad at me. Maybe he's not. But I feel an ache in my knee, that's real. So pay attention to your feelings with a heightened level of scrutiny. And then let your chin start to drop down toward your chest, feeling what you feel in the back of your neck. Slowly begin to open your eyes as you raise your arms up over your head. As you begin to look up, you might feel as you lift your chin something happening in the back of your neck. And then allow your arms to sweep down, look straight ahead, and bring your elbows in front of you. Let both of your arms move over, both of your elbows move over to the right. Let your head turn to the left. And then come back to center. Both of your elbows are going to come to the left. Your head's going to come to the right. Come back to center. Bring your arms so that your arms are parallel. Your elbows are bent. Your hands are facing up. You look like you have cactus arms. And from here, take a big breath in. Start to tuck your chin. Pull your belly button in. Elbows come together. Take another nice little sip of air. And as you exhale, lift your chest, open your arms, squeeze your shoulder blades together and look up. Inhale, tuck your chin, pull your belly button in, elbows and forearms come together. And as you exhale, lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And one more time. Inhale, tuck and round. And then exhale, lift up. Let that left hand come down. That right arm's going to come up and over. So you're really stretching through that whole right side of your body. Staying here, as you inhale, bring that elbow down. And as you exhale, stretch it back. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. One more time. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. And then up you come, and that right hand comes down. That left arm comes up and over. So pause with that level of curiosity and scrutiny. What do you feel in your side ribs as you stretch your fingers further? And then inhale, draw that elbow down, moving your shoulder. And exhale, stretch it back. Inhale, draw it down. Exhale, stretch it back. Inhale and exhale. And then lift yourself up, palms forward, and then fold forward, release your head. So you're feeling your body right now. Try to keep your butt anchored to the floor. And with your butt anchored to the floor, creep your fingers out a little bit further so that you're stretching your whole spine. Take a nice big breath in. As you exhale, lift your arms up and sweep your hands behind you. Once again, squeeze those shoulder blades together, lift your chest, your belly, your ribs, look up. And now you're going to press gently into your hands. You're going to use the strength of those glutes to lift your hips up, drop your knees. Release yourself back down. Sweep your arms back up over your head, palms forward, fold forward, creep those fingers out, maybe a little bit further this time. And then inhale, lift your arms up, sweep your hands behind you, switch the cross of your legs. Shoulder blades come together, chest rises, big breath in. Use those hips to lift up, drop your knees down. And then release yourself back down. Arms come back up. And one more time, drop that left hand, right arm comes up and over. And then you're going to take that right hand, you're going to sweep it up, you're going to bring it behind you, left hand comes onto your thigh, turn your belly, your ribs, your chest, look over your right shoulder. This is spinal flexibility. You also might feel something happening in your neck as you try to twist a little more, look over that right shoulder a little deeper. And then come back to center, reach those arms back up. And your left hand comes down, right arm comes up and over. Lift up, sweep that left hand behind you, right hand on your thigh, turn your ribs, your belly, your chest, look over that left shoulder. And then come back to center. So once you come back to center, always kind of make sure that you're lifting up through your side ribs, right? You don't want to be all hunched over. You're sitting up nice and tall. From this nice tall position, you're going to bring your feet out in front of you. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. So my back is still straight. I'm going to hold on behind my thighs and I'm going to lean back a little bit. So I'm not rounding back. I'm just leaning back slightly. Lift up your left leg. And with your left leg lifted, keep your toes pointing to your face. And then see if you can walk your hands up your leg and hold on to that ankle. Turn your ankle around. And then reverse it, turn it around the other way. Point your toes to your face. Release one arm, release the other. So you might feel your thigh firing up here. You might feel your core working a little bit. We're going to add a little bit more core work here by lowering yourself down and then lifting yourself back up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold on to your thigh again. Reach it up a little bit higher. And then bend your knee, foot to the floor. And right away, you're going to switch legs. So you're going to hold on to that right leg. You're going to straighten it. You're going to turn that ankle around. You're going to flushing out your ankle joint and then go around the other way. Straighten your legs, sit up nice and tall, walk your hands up your leg, you're stretching your hamstring. And then release one arm, release the other. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Bend your knee. Both feet are going to stay on the floor. And you're going to lower yourself down just a couple of breaths. You're going to stay here. And then lift yourself back up. Hold on to your knees. Take one or two little resting breaths. Begin to tuck your belly, tuck your chin, round your spine. And then start to lift your chest. Draw those shoulder blades together. Look up. Inhale, tuck and round. Exhale, lift up, look up. One more time. Inhale, tuck and round. Exhale, lift up, look up. And then both of your arms come out again. Slowly, slowly, slowly. You're starting to lower yourself down. You're going to stay here for a moment. And thinking about your shoulder, start to tap your elbow to the floor. So you're opening from your shoulder joint. I want you to feel your shoulder joint moving. You tap your elbow, and then you come back up. And then you tap the other elbow and come back up. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift. Hold on, rest for a moment. So in doing that, your body's coming into a spinal twist. You're also getting shoulder rotation, right? In that shoulder, what's called the shoulder girdle. but you're also firing up your core. So we'll do that 2 more times again on each side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Stay here and slowly, slowly, slowly lower yourself all the way down onto your mat. Once you come down onto your mat, you can place your hands on your belly. Take a nice big breath in. And then as you exhale out loud, say, shh. So what is that doing? I'll remind all of you, you all have your microphones turned off, so you can shush as loud as you want. Nobody can hear you. So this is helping you to get that lower back anchored onto the floor, right? We have that little curve in our lumbar spine. When you pull your belly in, you're really getting that low back attached to the floor, which helps to protect your low back. So one more time, big breath in. As you exhale, pull your belly button in. Say shh. And then see if you can keep this sense of anchoring your low back to the floor. You're going to bring your left leg in toward your chest. You're going to stretch your leg up into the air, toes to your face. So right away, you might feel yourself stretching your hamstring. Then you're going to try to bring that leg in even a little bit closer if you can. And then you're going to bring your knee in toward your chest. And you're going to stretch it up into the air. And then your knee comes towards your armpit. And then you stretch it up into the air. And then you hold on to your ankle or your calf. And you try to bring that leg in even a little bit further. You're stretching. You're not straining. Right? So if all of a sudden you're like, holy cow, this hurts. Well, then you back off a little bit, okay? And then you're going to bend that left knee. Stretch out your right leg. Hold on to your left knee with your right hand. Start to drop that left knee over your right. Look over your left shoulder. So now you're stretching your whole hip and your glute. And then come back to center. Left foot stays on the floor. Re-engage your core so you re-anchor that lumbar spine to protect it. And you're going to bring your hands behind that right thigh. Leg comes up into the air, pointing your toes to your face. Noticing the level of elasticity or lack thereof in your right hamstring. Maybe you walk your hands up your leg a little bit more, bringing it in a little closer, or maybe not. And then you're going to bring your knee in toward your chest and stretch it back up. And then knee comes into that armpit, that loosens up that hip joint, and stretch it back up. You release that left leg, bend your right knee, hold it with your left hand, drop your right leg over your left, turn and look over your right shoulder. Come back to center. Bend both of your knees. So your feet are at a 45-degree angle here, okay? You're going to release your hands to your side. You can turn your palms upward so your core has to work a little bit more. Toes to your face. Start to stretch that left leg forward and then bring your knee back in. So you're building strength in your thigh here. You're also using your belly. And then you're going to stretch that right leg out and bring it back in. Inhale left. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale right. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale both legs. Exhale, bring them in. Inhale both legs. Exhale, bring them in. Stretch your arms out to the side. Both of your knees fall down to the left. Let your head turn to the right. And then you're going to, since I can't see you, I'm just going to hope that I'm guiding you verbally correctly. You're going to take your right leg, you're going to straighten it. So your right knees are still kind of on top of each other. Your right leg is straight, your right toes are pointing to your face. And you're going to begin to lift that right leg up a little bit and hold it. Then you're going to lift it up a little bit higher and hold it. And you're going to lift it up a little bit higher and hold it. So you're still in a spinal twist, but you're adding a little bit of hip work here. And then you're going to bend that right knee. You're going to place it back onto your left knee. You're going to glue those thighs together, and they're going to come back to center. And then both of those knees are going to fall to the right. Your head turns to the left. Your left leg stretches out over that right one. Your toes are pointing to your face. Lift your left foot up a little bit, hold it. A little bit higher and hold it. A little bit higher and hold it. So you should feel this hopefully in your gluteus medius, that inside, that deep, smaller glute muscle. And then you're going to bend your knee, glue it back to that right thigh. Bring those thighs back together. Stretch your legs up into the air, toes to your face. So at first you're going to think just about your left leg. And I'm starting with my left because that's closer to the camera. So you can start with any leg, I don't care. And then start to drop it out to the side. Pause when it's halfway down. And then slowly bring it back up. And then begin to slowly drop your right leg halfway down. Pause. Slowly bring it back up. Take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, reach your fingers up toward your toes. And try to stay here for a couple of breaths. I'm just going to lower my camera a little. So stay here for a few breaths. You can lift your butt up off the floor. That's going to help you to use those glute muscles. But it's also helping to wake up your core a little bit more. And then release your head, release your shoulders, arms come back to your side. And then once again, that left leg starts to come down. So I'm not letting it fall all the way down, because then it's just going to hang in my hip joint where it's kind of happy. I'm going to leave it up a little bit, because when it's not hanging in that hip joint and it's lifted, now I'm using that adductor muscle in my inner thigh, my abductor muscle in my outer thigh to hold it up there. And then with that level of paying attention, notice what you feel as you slowly bring that left leg back up. And then you start to drop that right leg out to the side. You pause right before you feel like, oh, I'm just going to let it flop down. And you lift it up another inch or two, and you stay here. And then you lift it up a little bit higher, and you stay here. And then you slowly bring your leg back together. Now we're going to do both of those at the same time. So take a big breath in. You might want to leave your palms down to help keep you steady. Start to open both of your legs. Slowly, 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 slowly stop. Hold it here. Take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, slowly, 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 slowly bring your legs back together. Bend your knees. Place your feet back onto the floor. Walk your feet out to the side so that you look like you're about to give birth. Both of your knees are going to fall down to the left. And then you're going to take your left foot. You're going to put it on top of your right thigh. And you're going to use the weight of your left leg and foot to help deepen the stretch in that right quad and that right hip flexor, right up by the psoas. And then you're going to release your foot, bring them back up. If your feet walk together, separate them. And then they both come all the way down to the right. And that right foot comes on top of that left knee or thigh. And you can see how just the weight of that leg resting on top of my left knee or thigh really lowers and increases the stretch. So you can use your own body weight very effectively. Release your foot, come back to center. Now you can bring your feet back to center. Hands are going to come to your side. Take a nice big breath in. As you exhale, lift your hips. So my whole back's still on the floor, just my hips are lifted. Then I'm lifting my lower back. Then I'm lifting my middle back. Then I'm lifting my upper back, right? So I can really feel each section of my spine lifting. And I'm going to stay here, noticing what I notice. Can you feel those long, strong muscles of your thighs stretching forward? Can you feel your glutes engaged? Can you feel your belly and your back helping to support you? And then you're going to start to march in place, lifting your knees, alternating them one at a time, nice and high, alternating the opposite glute supporting you. And notice how as you do this, you start dropping down a little. So lift yourself back up and then march, 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 pause, lift your hips a little higher, stay here. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, sweep your arms over your head. Lift your hips a little higher. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, bring your elbows down like you're making a letter W. And then inhale, stretch them back. Exhale, bring them down. Inhale, stretch them. Exhale, bring them down. Inhale, stretch, leave your arms where they are. As you exhale, lower your upper back. Lower your middle back. Your lower back comes down, and the last thing to reach are those hips. And then you can hug your knees back into your chest. Take a couple of nice little breaths. You can let yourself rock from side to side if that feels comfortable. And then hands are going to come onto your kneecaps. We're going to do a small move called Apanasana. And Apanasana is really good for your low back. So you're just going to gently push those knees away and then bring them back in. Inhale, push away. Exhale, bring them back in. And again, inhale, push them away. Exhale, bring them back in and leave them here. Place your feet back on the floor. Hands come to your side. Once again, lift yourself up. This time you don't have to come up that high because we're going to be really firing up our alternate glutes. So you want to, keep yourself supported and feeling safe. So if you're up too high and you don't feel safe, you can lower yourself down a little. Shift your weight into that left leg. Your right leg comes up into the air. Leaving your right leg in the air, point your toes to your face, and then start to drop that right leg out to the side just a couple of inches, and then bring it back up. And then lower it down so that it's hovering above the floor, and bring it back up. And then again, out to the side, bring it back up. Lower it down almost the whole way to the floor. Bring it back up. Bend your knee, foot to the floor, and you can rest for a moment. So that's kind of putting together the move that we're doing with our legs, right? Those external rotations of our hip, and also you had yourself in that bridge pose firing up your glutes. So a lot's happening there. Give yourself a moment to absorb all the benefit of that work. And then once again, press your feet into the floor, lift those hips up, shift your weight into your right leg, your left leg lifts up, and you start to drop it out to the side, and then lift it back up, lower it down in front of you, lift it back up, drop it out to the side, lift it back up, lower it down in front of you, lift it back up, bend your knee, foot to the floor, lift your hips nice and high. This time you're going to bring your hands underneath you. You're going to shimmy a little bit, and you're going to bring your hips as high as you can. And you're going to pause. You're going to notice your breathing. And then you're going to release your hands. You're going to once again lower that upper back, that middle back, that lower back, and those hips. And you're going to bring your knees back in toward your chest. Open your knees out to the side. Hold on to your feet, coming to happy baby. Always keeping that level of curiosity, of interest, right? I'm not judging like, holy cow, my hip feels awful. Why did I walk 5 miles yesterday? No, just like, oh, interesting. There, I feel some pain in my right hip joint. I'm not attaching a thought to it. I'm just noticing my feelings. Because a feeling is it's real. A physical feeling is real. And then you're going to open one leg out to the side, open the other leg out to the side, and let yourself gently rock from side to side. And then come to a still point. Bend your knees a little bit more, bringing those knees toward your armpits. And then the soles of your feet come together. Arms come down. Slowly let those feet come down to the floor. And your knees, once again, flop out to the side like butterfly wings. You can let your hands rest on your thighs. And you can guide them down a little bit. For some people, this might be really challenging. Do not use your hands like they're brick weights trying to push those knees further down. Your hands are gently guiding, trying to open up just a little bit more through your whole groin area, through that whole area where your thigh attaches to your torso. And then release your hands and just notice where you're at. And then take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, lift your knees up just about an inch or two and let them stay here. And then take another nice breath in. And as you exhale, bring your knees an inch or two closer to each other. If you're really concentrating, your inner thighs can be shaking right now. Take another nice breath in as you exhale another inch or two. And then you're going to bring your knees and thighs all the way together. You're going to squeeze your legs together. And then release that contraction. Open your knees just a little bit. And then a little bit more. And then a little bit more. And then a little bit more. And then you let them release all the way, kind of flopping into that hip joint to a place that might feel a little more easeful. Take a nice breath in. And as you exhale, lift those knees up just an inch or two closer to each other. And then a little bit closer. So this is working your inner thigh. Very tough part of that thigh muscle to work. And then a little bit closer. And then a little bit closer. And then your knees and thighs come together. Squeeze them together. and hug your knees into your chest. Right, so we're doing glute work, we're doing inner thigh work, outer thigh work. All of this is helping to emit those cytokines, right, during exercise, those enzymes that help boost our immunity. Both of your legs come back up into the air. Arms come down to your side. Nice big breath in. As you exhale, just that left leg is going to lower almost the whole way down. Once it's hovering a couple of inches above the floor, see if you can make some small circles all the way around with that leg. And then see if you can go around the other way. And then come to a still point, slowly bring that left leg back up. Straighten your legs. Slowly lower that right leg almost the whole way down. And then you start to make some circles. And then you reverse it. You go around the other way. And you come to a still point. You lift your legs back up. So both of your legs are straight. Your knees are as straight as they can be. Your toes are pointing to your face. Your heels are stretching up toward the ceiling. You're trying to squeeze those knees and thighs together, right? So your legs, again, could be shaking right now. This is active. This is not a passive pose. This is a supine Dandasana. Dandasana is staff pose. We're doing the staff pose on the floor. So take a nice breath in. As you exhale, sweep your right arm up over your head. Inhale, lower. Exhale, left arm comes up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, both arms come up. Let your arms stay behind you. Spread your fingers really wide. Keep squeezing those knees and thighs together. Press your heels up toward the ceiling. Big sip of air. And as you exhale, lift your fingers toward your toes one more time. Try to stay here. And then release your arms, release your head, release your shoulders. And slowly trying to keep those thighs and knees glued together. Slowly lower your legs all the way down to the mat. Once your heels reach the mat, you can relax your feet, relax your thighs, relax your arms, relax your shoulders. Everything comes to a place where it feels easeful. If it feels safe and comfortable, close your eyes. Just with that same level of attention that you were paying to your hearing at the beginning of your practice, that same level of attention that perhaps you were paying to the slight movement of your knees and your inner thighs, with that same level of scrutiny, begin to mentally scan your whole body, becoming aware of any areas where you might still be holding tension. Resist the urge to attach any judgment or thought to these feelings. Move your attention from your head down to your neck, your shoulders, your arms. Release any lingering tension from your chest and belly. Relax your back, your hips, your legs. When your whole body is relaxed, become aware of your feelings. Whatever you feel is just fine. You are the passive observer of your feelings. Imagine a stream of fresh water. This pure, cleansing water flows through you. And as this clear stream washes each feeling away, you'll begin to experience feelings of peace and ease. And then become aware of any thoughts passing through your mind. Whatever you are thinking is just fine. Know that each thought will arise and then pass away. It is enough to be aware of each thought like a silent witness, and then let it go. Imagine a fresh breeze blowing through your mind, leaving it clear and empty, allowing you to rest in stillness. Right now, there is nothing to do or achieve. Simply be. Let yourself exist in stillness. Bring your awareness back to feeling any sensation in your body. Maybe you begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes a little bit. And then start to go through whatever motions your body needs to go through to come back to a seated position. Bring your hands back together at your heart center. Take a moment, as always, to express gratitude toward yourself for honoring your body, your mind, and your spirit by coming to your mat this afternoon. And then see if throughout the course of your day, or even throughout the rest of the week, if you can remind yourself to occasionally rest in the stillness and allow yourself to just be. Take one more nice big breath in. And as you exhale, bow forward. Namaste. Thank you all